You sitting on your butt, afraid to come into the community and deal with the grassroots of your people. A whole generation has come up around you. Let's talk about the rappers for a minute. You do have a responsibility to wake up, clean up, and stand up. Give liberation lyrics to our people that will uplift them and not degrade them and put them down. You're not a gangster trying to look like some damn criminal from Italy, some mafioso, some Italiano. Boy, look like fools on TV, dressed up in all of this mess.
Today we're going to be talking about, does music influence gang culture? I'm here with Nana and Respect.
Fire being me.
Yeah?
Rastafari.
So, I suppose, do you think that it does influence gang culture? Actually, firstly, shall we just talk about like gang culture and where do you think that, like, why do you think that gang culture exists?
I think gang culture has always existed, not just in London, but across the world. And obviously, gangs have got negative connotations to it for obvious reasons. But actually, when you think of the principles of being in a gang, there's a lot of good principles. You know, it's basically like an old boys network or whatever it is, you know what I mean? Where you've got common goals and common things that you want to achieve collectively. But if you put a negative spin on it, then it becomes problematic. Do you know what I mean? The police are a gang. Do you know what I mean? G20 are a gang. They're a gang of a group of world leaders and countries that have monopolized world resources. They come together every so often to say how much more money can we make? You know, what more can we do to consolidate our power? So yeah, you know, gangs have always existed.
Okay, and what do you think the connection between gangs and music? Where does that connection originate from?
That's a good question. Looking at it from a generation of where I grew up, where I was into rap, growing up into rap music, the music was meant to be a reflection of the condition that the rapper entertainers were in. So it's almost like a report of your social conditions, you know, where you're living and where most of us are living in like lower socioeconomic backgrounds. The music was a reflection of that. So when you go back in the days to the start of rap, there's a lot of social commentary in the music. And now we've got to a place where it's moved away from that into what a lot of people deem as negative, where it's almost glorifying, you know, that social condition.
Yeah.
You know, glorifying the guns and glorifying the killings and all that stuff. So it's kind of it's turned upside down.
So you're just like singing about what you know, really?
Well, yeah, well that's what they say, but I'm saying it's changed. It's changed now. The narrative's changed. I've done a panel discussion about drill music. Now, if you look at the content of drill, it's about only got 2 or 3 themes within the music. You got the main elements, talk about the borers, you know, the knives, the splashing, the drugs, and what else? Just murk, you know, just violence. You see what I'm saying? That's the 3 key elements of it. So if someone is a drill artist and has been given a pattern or a model to be a drill artist, there's going to be very few things on that list. You know, anyway.
But you do music, don't you?
Yeah.
What type of music do you do?
Drill.
Drill.
Grime, I do drill, grime, rap, dunk, everything. But I'm a grime artist firstly and foremost.
How did you get into it?
Yeah, it's just a part of life, man. Music, innit? Telling man's story, innit? You get me? And like, I was talking to a sister on the phone earlier. She was saying, no, we need to get onto all of these gigs and all of these guys because, you know, they're promoting violence and whatever. I'm telling her, sis, see, if I bring my brother Face Keys, a good youth, to the studio, I'm doing a tune with him. He's going to talk about Marcus Garvey or No Peace or nothing like that. He's going to talk about some money or he's going to talk about busting a man's head. Because that's just his life right now, you understand? So, and it's not a thing where he's a bad-hearted you or nothing. He's just out there trying to make the peas. And when you're making peas, people are watching you make peas. So you kind of got to have some sort of strength. And then this one here does something and then that's how, and then when there's a death, that's when it really spills over. You know what I'm saying? But what I was showing is when I was growing up, like, except for one time when my pops had a little influence and told me, yo, I want you to write a conscious stream. When I first started writing bars, I was talking about I'm a warlord, son. When I draw for the gun, you're sure to run. car. That's what man's seeing. I'm at the older's house. The older's got some big straps. You get me? Like, and then a man's gassed. You get me? Like that was my. You get me? So I knew I didn't know about no Marcus Garvey or no conscious community or, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that now, like, it's like a lot of people are gonna look and say like, can I rap like that and actually reach the masses? Flashy, when he made Black Boys. His career was on a straight up before that.
Yeah.
Like, he done Kid All, he had a soundtrack, like Chopper Chops, like he was big. He Channel U all the time.
Yeah.
We always saw Bashy.
I think, you know what, I think it can be done with how you do it. If you come across as preachy on your songs, it's not gonna sell. Let's be honest, especially in this country.
Like what you said, the drill youths and the youths coming up, they ain't seen that formula. And then when they create that, it's up for the people who want to see change. And that's why I was like, if the radio people, it's up for them to push that. Cause I don't really feel like anyone's music needs to be taken back. At the end of the day, a lot of these youths that are rapping, even though they're rapping with that on the drill, they're planning to get out. Use that as their get out. You understand? So it's like, they're in between a rock and a hard place, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're products of the environment.
At the same time, the perception that's pushed out there is almost like all our youths are on this and they're active. It's nonsense.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
You have a hardcore group of people that are, you know, active, but the majority of our youths, they're just getting on with their lives, you know, they just do their law-abiding people, but what the media projects is like, almost like all the black youths are on this, and that's not the reality.
That's what I'm saying. So that goes back into the record label, the radio. It goes. We're coming out of the black community now. We're actually going into the power of actually what the people see and what the people hear.
That's it.
Now we're getting into a community that's outside of us. You get me? And we're dealing with people who are dealing with business and you know perception. You understand? So I feel like that has a big influence on what the youths rap about. You know what I'm saying? Like he said in his time, them man had NWA, but they had Public Enemy as well. You understand? Like, you had this, but you had Lauryn Hill as well. Like, you had a balance, and that's what I'm saying that is needed in this time, innit? Like, if these men are rapping about this, then there has to be people that are able to rap about this in the same format. You get me? Like you said, not on a preachy one. You understand? On a real one, and try and balance it. And when that is being created, because it's not like this ain't having an effect. We've seen clearly the social media and the music is adding fuel to the fire now. So now in North London, like every day someone's nearly dropping. Like and we saw the whole process of not that the man didn't have beef before that, but the man wasn't riding out how the man are riding out now.
That's it.
So that's what I'm saying. So we need the balance and we need it on the platform.
The thing is, rap music is predicated on being real. Yeah. So if a man says, you know what, I killed 5 people and I've sold X amount of drugs, the assumption is that they're telling the truth. Yeah. Now that's a key difference between rap and going to the movies and watching Wakanda. As brilliant as it is, you know it's a movie. So subconsciously, it doesn't have the same effect. This is why a big hoo-ha happened when we found out Rick Ross was a prison guard or whatever, and they're like, oh no, you know, people are going out, they're broken hearted. How can it be that my man? Because you bought into the image. That's all there, the foundation for you to sell records. You see what I'm trying to say? So the pressure with a lot of people, maybe not here, because a lot of people are independent over here, but in America is to sell a story, a lie, effectively. I think the rappers over here are more realer than
100%.
Than America. You see what I'm trying to say?
But now they're getting to a point of exaggeration, like what you're saying. It's become a point of exaggeration. No matter how bad a man is, he's got different emotions and different
100%.
times and different places.
He's a human being.
And when you look at some of the realest banging rappers that we know are certified, man are showing you the pain as well. You understand? But the way they've got our youths in the drill thing is true ego, man. It's like man's feeling like showing that side is gonna be some form of weakness or something. That's how I'm looking at it right now. When the tunes start popping and man start actually doing all this madness on the roads and the senseless thing, man's actually giving power to the system and the police and the feds and Section 60s and making the ends even hotter. You understand?
There's no fear because they're trying to take their stripes. There's no respect. There's no hierarchy. Because a lot of the certain generation didn't pass on the guidance. Yeah, and after that link has been broken.
And they started doing stuff like just taking the youths out on licks and using the young
Using
Gs.
them,
Yeah.
using
You
them.
understand? So next young Gs are seeing that and
That's
saying,
it.
no, I ain't got no respect for
Nah.
you. Change the conditions and the environment, and you're gonna change the rapping that's gonna come out of
That's it, that's it.
You understand? And that's a big thing. Like people point to the youths then, but really and truly, if you're out here and you're really like living that life, your vision just got, then it's like, what can you expect my man to really rap about?
Exactly.
You
It's
know
like
what I'm
people are
saying?
hearing the lyrics, but they're not really understanding them.
100%.
Like why people are talking about this.
100%.
Like this is people's reality. This is like
100%,
young boys'
yeah.
reality
100%.
every day.
But what I'm concerned about with that is, even though that's true, that narrative is true, is those that are on the periphery of this thing, and they're getting sucked in because it almost becomes like a fashion.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. So the guy, the youth that got killed in Wood Green, initially when I got the report, I'm hearing that he goes to private school. Yeah?
Really?
So he's a privately educated young man, so he doesn't fit into the stereotype of...
Yeah.
But then, further on down the line, I'm finding out, hold on, he's active in the gang. He came from that environment. His mum said, you know what, I'm taking you out of here. I'm going to take you to somewhere else. But he used to come back into the area.
You can't take the hood out the man. You got to
Yeah?
take the man
He's
out-
come back
can't
into
take
the
man
area.
out the hood. You got to take the hood out the man.
So, and like I was saying to you before, is whereas back in the day, you were seeing a man say, you know what, he's a college boy, he's a good boy. So let me just, you know, he's a civilian. Let me just... Now, they're not making that differentiation.
Yeah.
So a girl could be in the wrong place, and they're like, what ends are you from?
Yeah.
And it ends up being a problem. You know, back in the day, you was in it to win it, and there was rules and regulations to how you done your thing. Now, there's none. There is none. People just do, you know, like I remember a situation where a couple of weeks ago, I had someone's mum's house got shot up. Back in the day, you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
You think, you know what, my man lives with his mum. Let me just.
If man comes shoot at my mum's house, like, mad thing to say.
So do you think like with the genre of music that we're talking about, so like drill, grime, can you be successful in that industry and not talk about gang culture, gang violence?
Stormzy's shown that you can.
So would you say that like now he's become successful, he's getting more commercialised, like with the whole God gospel songs?
Do you know what? Stormzy effectively is a pop artist. You know, let's keep it. In my
But has he
opinion,
always been a pop artist?
No, of course not. He didn't come from that. He's a grime artist as he is, and he's a very good
Not
artist.
even a grime artist, he's just a really art. Because even before the grime, he was rapping, he was in it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's always dipping and dabbing.
You know, there's an image and there's reality.
Yeah.
So,
But then like to get in the charts or say like the mainstream charts, you do have to like tone it down a bit.
100%. You have to dilute.
Yeah, I see the way Daily Mail attack Stormzy, and the way they attack him is just they attack any black man in that
They
position.
have a real issue with him.
So
for some reason.
I just feel like if it was any black guy in that position, I just feel like there's a certain racist element. So that makes me definitely always stand in solidarity.
Because even like going back to 6-7 you mentioned, I know that they've had a lot of trouble with like police closing down their shows like before they even
100%.
happen. Like they find it really difficult to actually
100%.
like get their music out there and like even just have concerts, which would obviously be
Yeah,
a
that's what
massive
they
way
do
for
now.
them to
So
make
what
money.
they'll do is they'll call up the venue and say, look, if you let these people come there, we're going to take your license. So they'll put pressure on the venues.
But even then, they have a fear of this whole. It's going to turn into a massive big gang fest of violence
because
and
obviously
all this.
they've all, you know, what they put out into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
So it's just this like negative perception of
Yeah.
what their music's going to bring. So like how
No,
would
the
boys
police
like
will
that?
always try to shut man out, and that's one thing that makes me kind of support the man them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like allow it. You know what I'm saying? Because the most violent music is country music. You know what I'm saying? And that even goes back to like singing slavery songs and and then going into now, you know what I'm saying? Like, and like, you know what I'm saying? You got rock and roll, you get me? And these men are doing big shows, big stages, saying mad things, mad things. Yeah. I tell all of them, brother, I want more realness though, my G. I want to hear a balance so the young G's can know exactly. It's not. It's not all nice.
I used to tell Scraps all the time. You know, be in the gym, and I'll tell him, that's exactly what I told him. And to be honest with you, if you listen to his latest album, there's a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
There's a lot of, you know.
Even that latest thing he just dropped.
Yeah.
It's like some OG thing, but he's not glamorous.
But the drug game's blatantly a scandal. The prices on the bricks keep rising, so I need another angle. Last year, all my shows was getting cancelled. The Jets were trying to damage my financials.
No.
He's not making the. You get me? But
What's that like?
He's got a skill though. Because it takes a skill to do that as well, you know.
100%.
And that's the next thing about the youth. They're becoming conscious. Come man, remember, like a youth's gonna say, You see the drillers are telling to rap conscious. You see, once they start rapping conscious, remember, they was here when they're talking about Wish Wash Wash.
That's it.
See, once they start rapping conscious, now they're here compared to a next man.
That's it.
They're not the best anymore.
The views have gone right down.
But no, but what I'm saying, in one of the views, I'm saying you're not the best anymore at that because you haven't got the knowledge and experience in that field.
You know, big up to Scraps in there because, like I said, the album is tight, and there's lots of little jewels he drops. Like that line he was talking about, he said if I was born in the 60s, I would have been a panther. You know. And he said there's one other line as well, where it says, careful what I say, because I know these little, young people, are influenced. You know what I mean? So that's a man that's thinking about what he was saying. You know what I mean? And there's lots of things about him investing in property. Yeah, come on. Now let's talk about what's happening in Iraq, Syria.
He's even saying if I switched it up, would the fans still love me?
If I don't rap about birds, then the fans won't love me anymore. Say you're rich, but if all you got is money, then you're poor. I treat the beat like a therapist. Kids waking up to bombs in the Middle East to tell me who's the real terrorist. Why ain't he content with this one chick? All this gun crime, got these young brothers dying over dumb shit.
Like, you have to even slip that one in on the fire in the booth. That kind of makes me not even, as an artist, I don't even really want them sort of fans. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because you want to support man when I'm destroying my community, but the minute I try to build my community, you all leave man and that. Nah, fam, that's...
Definitely. And Nine's done a tune over on the album as well. Yeah. Just kind of exploring that, things like, well, if you're growing up in Hampstead, which is not that far from Broadbent, but if you're growing up 10-15 minute drive up the road, what was life been like? That's some real questions there, because your environment is important, you know what I'm saying?
So do you think there's a solution to these problems?
Yeah, there is. I was really angry when one of my guests on my panel said there's no solution. There's no solution to it. I was like, come on, man. You should know better than that. There is a solution. Even though it's difficult, there is a solution. I mean, one of the key things is early intervention on a device even. So early intervention, in terms of the black youths, I think it's a mindset challenge, an identity challenge. The key to all of it, there's lots of facets to it, but the key to it is knowledge of self. If you know yourself, where you're coming from, and you have self-worth as a black youth, and you know where your history is all about, you're less likely to go and harm somebody, because that person is a reflection of you.
You man are like two dogs that have been left to starve, like, and then you're set free. These don't know, like, not just in the black communities, in any community, where you have a lack of opportunity, a lack of income, where you have poverty, crime follows.
But our young people face compounded issues that some of my white boys and girls will never face, ever. Yeah? I'm gonna give you a simple explanation of it. If my name's Nana Ajiman, and I'm competing against somebody for a job whose name is John Smith, just CVs now, we know statistically John Smith will get more interviews than Nana Ajiman. That's a fact. Yeah? So these are the little, things where you really see it in real life, how it works, how it plays out. So we know that they're suffering in the system, but our youth are facing compounded issues. That exclusion to prison pipeline is running smoothly at the moment. So we need to break that cycle. We need to look at modern day slavery. Of course, we need to look at why is it that they've been permanently excluded at a higher rate than white boys. Is it because they're more naughty than white boys, or? We know that's not true. So
it's a perception. What the teachers believe rather than what they actually just see in front of them.
110%.
Josh Millard was just as bad as me, trust me. But Josh never got in half the trouble. See, Josh Millard, Josh, if you're watching this, you know it's
Remember, come on, Josh.
Josh will get away with it. They don't just get stopped for being white. No officer's gonna see a white, no white officer's gonna, and a black officer ain't gonna do it to a white guy either because he's scared. You understand? But you could actually get stopped for being black in the UK. Like, you could literally just be black and standing up and, what are you doing here, mate? Okay, you're like, where you going? And then like that conversation, well, there's been a couple of robberies in the area, we need to stop and search.
What it is, you are what you think.
Yeah.
So if we can positively affect how our youth think, it will manifest in so many different ways.
So my solution is exactly the same as Nana's. My whole thing is start with the 12-year-olds and down, and do a 10-year project. Do a 10-year project, because them 12-year-olds are going to be 22, and everyone under them would hopefully have taken on their mindset. You know what I'm saying? So you completely remove it. It's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. I'd say another solution is actually the brothers who, like my brother said many times, it's the generation gap. So the big brothers who's out here and really know what going on, if they was to actually come together from different ends and in their numbers and forces, you understand, and come down, I genuinely believe the young G's would definitely respect it. And even if the 17, 18-year-olds who are fully active don't jump on, they'll respect it, because they same way they hate police, but they respect them. Yeah. It's just true power. Do you get me? Like you do more to your brother, but if a Fed does something to you, you're not doing nothing. Because there is a respect because of the power, and you know the years are more, and you know what I'm saying. The conditioning. So it's that same thing. It's the coming together of the brothers in the same numbers, which is going to demand respect. The thing about gang is, it's just a group of friends, and we're just brothers, and we just look out for each other, and there's honour that you see that you won't see anywhere else. There's love, because we have to understand that there's value that is put. Like if someone just kills the Prime Minister from this country, and then someone shoots them, no one's going to say the guy's a bad guy, you know? Because we put value on the Prime Minister. These lot put bad value on their brethren. You understand? So there's that side now, knowledge of self. That's the key for them, because once they actually understand their history, and once they understand about that little slave cabin and the conditioning, once they understand about Willie Lynch,
but you know what,
the Willie Lynch letter,
you know
once they understand about COINTELPRO and CIA and J. Hoover,
and that's all relevant. That's all relevant, But even prior to that, so a lot of people start with a slave narrative. What you have to understand is that what was asking youth then is, what were you doing? What was Africans saying before?
100%.
That's the whole argument, like in schools now. Like obviously, I can imagine all of us in school, the only like black history we learned was slavery. Well, I know for me it was anyway. I think Akale's done a lot of good talks at like Oxford University.
The history of people of African descent and of Africa itself had to be functionally distorted to justify transatlantic slavery and colonialism in a way that we kind of can't fully comprehend or understand today. If we think about a time just over 100 years ago when African human beings were literally kept in zoos in London, in New York, in Paris, that gives us a sense of the strength of colonial propaganda.
I watched on YouTube. He talks about all these buildings and all these amazing things that African people did. That obviously, when they were colonised, the British people just destroyed it.
100%. Like during the onset of slavery, Europe, for whatever, was a shithole. Yeah, no, Trump's talking about Africa's a shithole now. Europe was a shithole, and it's a historical fact.
Just so I don't
go on.
The reason why I'm making it reference to after slavery, before slavery, is because I want to show them how the conditioning of the current, their current self-hate for each other. That wasn't something that was there before. That was more of a tribal landmass thing. You get me? Like you got Somalia and Ethiopia fighting for land. You know what I'm saying? That was going before slavery. But post-slavery, there's been things that have been done to us as people. There's been institutions, 100%. such as the slave chamber in Gambia, such as the Willie Lynch, such as J. Hoover. You understand? There's been programs actually run by the American government and the British government to literally create a create a self-hate. Me want to fight this kind of complex. Do you understand? The divide and conquer tactic.
Like we
you
were
understand?
About
so that needs to be studied, and then we have to understand the greatness before that as well.
That's it. And that's the reason why a lot of the youths reject that narrative, especially during Black History, because they know they're going to be told that. They don't want to hear it no more. They don't want to hear about I was shackled on a boat and I came from a jungle into the light. You know,
trying to teach me I'm a slave. That's why I let it blaze in school.
You understand? You see what I'm going to say? That's why they reject it. But if you're teaching them that, hold a minute, you had universities before these people had universities. You had a man who's recognised as the richest man to ever lived in history.
How you gonna touch my mullah? Man could have got 3-5, but I want bread like Massa Musa.
He had so much money that actually the Europeans were thinking, right, who's this guy? Let's go and find out who he is. And, you know, that's what actually stemmed.
Threw off the currency of Egypt.
You know what I'm saying?
And you go true.
Yeah,
Egypt.
This
All
guy's
the gold
now-
and the gold palaces and the gold. You know what I'm saying? The gold chairs and stuff.
Yeah.
And he went through there and threw off the currency. You know what I'm saying? So that's when you know he had a lot of gold.
A lot, and you know, for him to be still recognised as the richest man ever, this is ahead of Rothschilds, ahead of Ron Buffett, whoever you can name. That gives you a totally different perspective, because we were told that, you know, these people were savages, walking around naked, chucking spears against, you know, things in their nose, all this foolishness.
Yeah.
So they don't want to hear that, because they're trying to think, they want to get as far away as possible. Once they get fed the real knowledge, it opens up their mind.
Yeah.
It gives them that pride. And like I said, if you know yourself, there's going to be less reluctant. Not even reluctant. It's going to be a natural thing where you're not going to kill what you love.
Yeah.
Because when you see somebody, that's a reflection of you, and vice versa. And a lot of these things are manifestation of self-hate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for when you can stab up a man for just looking at you, or step on your toes and kill him. That shows you the levels of operating at.
It means you don't care about your own life.
Yeah, that's right.
You have no value for your own life.
Let alone someone else's.
You understand? That's what I'm saying.
They won't show the same behaviours to non-black people. It's only to their own, which is very telling psychologically. Because why is it that you got this so much angst and against somebody that looks like you, when really, if you think about a logical way, it should be somebody that doesn't look like you, but you have the angst against. So that shows you that there's a psychological basis to this behaviour.
Yeah.
You know,
like what we were saying about the postcode wars. It's like you boys are more alike than the people you're fighting the wrong people. I think that people just like want to like identify who the enemy is, like we were on about earlier. So I think obviously it's easy just to say, oh, a black guy who's got his hood up and carrying a knife is the enemy.
There's a bigger agenda.
Valueless.
There's a bigger agenda in all this.
Oh, that was good though. Thank you.
Fun,
Yeah, we could go on for ages, literally.
Believe you me.
But no, it's a great conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Good stuff.
Thanks for having us.